Alright yo guys, what's going on? It's Rage, and welcome back to another Black Ops 4 PC sniping video. Now, this video here may or may not be the final video that I make talking about the snipers, obviously depending whether the snipers get adjusted or not. Up until this point in time, I've made a small handful of videos talking about the sniping in this game, and it's no secret that I'm not a fan of the way that it is, specifically on PC. In this video, I'm going to be talking about issues with the sniping, as well as responding to comments that I've seen over the past couple of videos that I've made on this topic, such as time to kill comparisons, aim assist, PC-specific weapon balancing, and so on. I cover quite a lot in this video, so if you comment before finishing the video, you may have your answer or your comments explained by the end of the video. So now, let's go ahead and jump into this. At the release of Black Ops 4 on PC, many of us had no idea that the snipers were going to be nerfed as harshly as they were, and still are. As you all already know, the Paladin and the KOSHKA on PC are a full second slower with their bolt speeds. As a matter of fact, even the PC KOSHKA is slower than the console Paladin. To go even further and show you all how slow the PC Paladin is, in comparison, it's slower than the post-patch DSR. The post-patch DSR is at 40 RPM, while the PC Paladin is at 37.5. On top of that, they were also weaker. Hitboxes as well as damage multipliers didn't work properly.
I don't know why in this game they made the shoulders be an arm hitbox instead of a chest hitbox.
I know.
So far there are no damage multipliers on the Outlaw and the KOSHKA without high caliber. With high caliber, it almost doubles damage to the affected area.
Originally, when the game released, the base damage specifically on the Outlaw was 110, and on the KOSHKA was at 120. Weapon descriptions had showed us that the Outlaw and KOSHKA were to only be a one-shot headshot. On October 31st, the first big weapon balance update was released on PC. The private match gameplay here showed that even after the buffs made to the Outlaw and the KOSHKA, buffing the damage from 110 to 130 on the Outlaw, and 120 to 140 on the KOSHKA, the snipers were still broken. In this video, my friends and I went into a private match to test hitboxes and damage multipliers. This is when we discovered how small the hitbox was, and how hard it was to hit it when the target was in motion. You couldn't shoot them from the side because there was no damage multiplier for the shoulder or the arm. A shoulder shot had counted as an arm hitbox instead of a chest hitbox. As a matter of fact, there were no damage multipliers if you were not using high caliber. Damage multipliers only worked on the Paladin. But how come though? For most of us, this question was never answered. PC snipers didn't know reasons as to why the snipers were like this. It wasn't until November 1st when my friend Josh, otherwise known as Grim, had DM'd me the timestamp of the Black Ops 4 Road to Launch broadcast when Tony Flames said that the snipers had a PC specific nerf.
So we fixed that to get the sniper rifle balanced. And then even beyond that, on PC, we're doing some specific sniper rifle tuning. Obviously, on a mouse and keyboard, it's a lot easier to snipe. It's different than console. Even after that, that was the only explanation that we had to go off of. Sniping being broken just because it's easier to snipe with keyboard and mouse doesn't seem like a definitive reason. We still had no underlying specific reasons for it. I'll go ahead and show you all the full clip from the Black Ops 4 Road to Launch trailer where Tony Flame was explaining sniper rifle tuning. Link will be in the description. These whole systems are constantly changing. The foundation, the systems that we use to make the game, the tech is constantly changing. So in this case, we changed the ways in which our character models come together and the way that they're built, and that ended up exposing a bug about hitboxes. So it was a somewhat rare bug. It wasn't happening all the time. About 10% of the time, sniper rifles, there was a location on the body where they were killing where they weren't supposed to kill. So sniper rifles were a little bit too good.
Now I can totally agree with all of that. Snipers shouldn't be one-shotting people in the legs, feet, and whatnot, so by all means sort that out properly. However, the hitbox issues that they fixed with player models seemingly didn't come to PC, and they were not implemented properly.
So we fixed that to get the sniper rifle balanced. And then even beyond that, on PC, we're doing some specific sniper rifle tuning. Obviously, on a mouse and keyboard, it's a lot easier to snipe. It's different than console. So we've got to get that dialed in for PC. We're looking closely at that for post-beta and launch.
In response to that, I believe it was Milno who originally commented this, and I've repeated it a ton of times over, that the argument of PC sniping being easier because of KBAM is completely discarded when noting that every PC player has the exact same advantage of using keyboard and mouse. Up until recently, towards the end of December, that was still the only explanation we had on why the sniping is this way on Black Ops 4 PC, until I finally got a hold of Tony Flame on Twitter. When the Mastercraft variant of the Paladin finally dropped on PC, I had a slight hope that it would have the same bolt speed as console, but it did not. So I decided to make and tweet another speed comparison at Treyarch, to where I also mentioned the only reason we have for this comes from Tony Flame when he said it's easier to snipe with keyboard and mouse, which isn't justifiable because everyone on PC uses a keyboard and mouse. I'm sure we'd have more of an understanding if we had more to go off than just that. To which Tony Flame had responded saying, more to go off? Sure, target acquisition time is so much faster on PC regardless of weapon. So time to first shot is faster, recoil control and fire rate don't come into play if first shot is a one-hit kill. Thus one-hit kill snipers are disproportionately advantageous with KBAM. To which I responded with, makes sense, you're right, recoil and fire rate don't come into play on the first shot. shot, but only on the first shot. What about follow-up shots? Recoil on the snipers would only have effect if one stays scoped in. The current fire rate gives us little to no chance to take an effective follow-up shot or shots. On a first shot basis, those who land a first shot on a sniper, if they're a decent player, will have no problem winning that fight. The recoil on other weapons are borderline non-existent. Even so, the recoil is easy to control, in which something that I've realized with Black Ops 4, if you're using an automatic weapon, you're much better off firing in short bursts to counter the recoil. Snipers are still at a disadvantage due to the fire rate. Fair point on the first shot, although anyone who lands that first shot, regardless of weapons, will more than likely win the gunfight. In nearly the full second it takes to bolt, we're already getting shot at and we have little to no chance to win the gunfight. Deliberately nerfing the speed of the bolt doesn't give a fair fight, makes it almost pointless to use a sniper in attempts to get more than one kill rapidly. I feel as if a proper nerf would be a Black Ops 1 style of sniping. More initial scope and sway, no quick draw attachment ability, etc. Black Ops 1 sniping is arguably the most skill-based sniping, and with that, the most rewarding. The only sense that keyboard and mouse with sniping is easier only comes if one is actually good at sniping with keyboard and mouse. The exact same thing applies to any non-sniper. Keyboard and mouse in general, even unlike using a controller, will only be advantageous if one has put in the time and effort to be good with the tools given. With that, nerfing the snipers because some may be good with keyboard and mouse isn't fair. Tony Flame had responded to that by saying, "It's a fun topic, could talk about it all day. High level, in every past game, our analytics prove that same-tuned sniper rifles perform dramatically better on PC than console, same in the Black Ops 4 beta. We made intentional changes to PC sniper tuning to account for that. Can look at, though." And now this is where Duart and Clear made a fantastic point. The sniping has been the exact same on console and PC all the way up until this point, so how would it perform dramatically better? My thought is that a lot of people were using the snipers during the beta, obviously, to see how they are and how they perform. Just because a lot of people may be using it doesn't make them overpowered or perform any better than the console counterpart. It all comes down to the skill of the player. Still, their main point seems to be it's easier to snipe with keyboard and mouse. Any first-person shooter is easier with keyboard and mouse if they put in the time to practicing. The exact same thing goes with playing console and using a controller, or really any skill in life. It all takes practice. If you nerf the snipers because it's easier to snipe with keyboard and mouse, or some people might just be good at sniping with keyboard and mouse, then you may as well nerf everything on PC, because everyone on PC plays with keyboard and mouse, and can be good with anything if they put in the time to be good. It simply is not a justifiable reason. So now what about aim assist, Mike? Console has a bigger hitbox because it's harder to aim with the sticks. The reason as to why console has aim assist in the first place is because aiming with sticks is inaccurate. Obviously, it's nowhere near the same as keyboard and mouse in PC. However, sniping on console in the newer Call of Duties has very little to no aim assist in the first place, making it just as, or at least almost the same as PC. Aim assist in general on console seems to be toned down a bit since Black Ops 3 at the least, but still red guns have had more aim assist than snipers, so therefore red guns are still at more of an advantage in that sense. I've been saying this for a while, that all it takes is a red gunner to land the first shot on a sniper, and if they're decent enough, they've won the gunfight. Again, yes, console and PC are two totally different worlds, but you still need to put in the time to practice to be good and consistent with whichever, being a controller or keyboard and mouse. Nerfing the snipers just because some people might be good with keyboard and mouse doesn't seem fair when all the players on PC use keyboard and mouse and are good with their respective weapons that they've put the time and effort into. Some other comments that I wanted to address were along the lines of, "Oh, it's such bullshit that when I shoot at somebody sniping, they can still hit me. If it takes me 5 to 6 shots with an SMG to kill somebody, then snipers should not be one-shotting me, especially when I'm on 150 health," and so on. For one, in Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4, due to the lack of a toughness perk, players will typically aim lower because aim punch brings their aim up, and as a matter of fact, that's been the meta of recent Call of Duties. And it does play a part of the reason as to why snipers manage to get a one-shot kill, also if they're lucky enough, after being shot at. Obviously, other reasons may vary. Lag, hit registration, you name it. As far as 150 health goes, it seems to me that a lot of people tend to believe that with the health being at 150, that it's like every recent Call of Duty, but you have like a ballistic vest or juggernaut or something on. And that's not the case, in the slightest. 150 is the new 100. The entire gameplay style being of time to kill, weapon balancing, and the specialist of Black Ops 4 revolves around it. Recently, I took some time and I gathered some time to kill clips from Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 3, and Black Ops 4. I chose Modern Warfare 2 because to me, it's the game with the fastest time to kill, and on the flip side, I chose Black Ops 1 because I feel like it's the game with the longest time to kill other than Black Ops 4. I chose Black Ops 3 because it's the recent Treyarch release, obviously before Black Ops 4, and I have Black Ops 4 time to kill because, well, that's what this video is about after all. Now, I would like to mention the way that I started and stopped the timers. I start the timer on the first shot and hit marker that I get. I would then stop the timer if I missed a wild shot, and also I would stop it when the first pixels push the kill feed up, meaning that I got the kill. The timing itself may not be exactly perfect down to the exact millisecond and individual frame, but you all get the general idea.
5 lane standing by. We've taken the lead.
Outrider kill. Assassin neutralized.
Yes, back.
Pocket splash. She's down.
Enemy tag.
Enemy UAV above.
Wasted Ajax.
Enemy is hacked and disabled the control system. Hostile UAV circling. We have the advantage.
Profit neutralized. One by dead bad guy. Smoke them. Hostile down.
It's nearly in the back.
Shot out.
Enemy UAV above.
I also got some private match footage of time to kill from numerous ranges. Now, this would be the best and closest representation of the time to kill in Black Ops 4, however, I wouldn't deem this as fully accurate because I'm on my own host, I'm not in a dedicated server, my target isn't moving, I don't have to compensate for lag, hit registration is a little bit more on point, and so on. In the Black Ops 3 clips, I use weapons that have almost carbon copies of weapons in the Black Ops 4 for a better comparison, and as you all notice, the time to kill is relatively the same across all the games that are not Black Ops 4. They're usually around 1/10 of a second. In Black Ops 4 though, it's about 2/10 of a second. For one, this proves that time really does make all the difference, even if it's in milliseconds. Aha! We got you now, Mike. Black Ops 4 time to kill is longer, so therefore snipers have no need to be one-shotting. Well, fun fact, this is where math comes into the equation here. With the snipers being a full second faster, again 5 seconds on console to the 6 seconds on PC, the time to kill on Black Ops 4 is how long it takes to rechamber the bolt on the Paladin, not even including the time to ADS and aim on your target. So like I've said before, almost any red gunner who lands the first shot and is decent enough to land the follow-up shots, they've won the gunfight a vast majority of the time. If the sniper misses, they may as well just throw the whole sniper away, because in the time it takes to bolt, we're already dead. The speed of the bolt of the PC Paladin is slowed down by 20%, being 2/10 of a second. 0.2 meaning 20% times 5 equals 1, meaning 1 second. 2/10 of a second being the usual time to kill on Black Ops 4. See the math here? So again though, if snipers were performing dramatically better on both PC and console, then why wouldn't this nerf be on console as well? Just seems a little unfair to me. As I mentioned earlier, I know console and PC are two totally different worlds in the sense of playstyles and just how the game is overall. But still, it comes down to how skillful one is with either using a controller or using keyboard and mouse. So again, nerfing the sniping on PC just because someone may be good with keyboard and mouse isn't fair. PC players, like console players, can be good with keyboard and mouse and controllers if they put in the time to be good and effective with them. If the goal of Black Ops 4 was to make sniping a little bit more challenging, slowing the bolts down doesn't do that. It only affects being able to take the follow-up shots. If you were to properly nerf the snipers, then it should be done Black Ops 1 style. Take out quick draw and add in more initial scope and sway. Again, if Treyarch's plan was to make sniping a little bit more competitive, a little bit more tactical to fit the gameplay style of Black Ops 4, then maybe design some maps for that. Almost all of the base maps in multiplayer are small to medium range, close quarter combat styled maps. There are little to no effective long range of sight with vantage points designed for snipers to be properly used. The only base multiplayer map that I can think of is Seaside up in the tower. The only remastered map I can think of is Jungle on top of the peak. Here on Seaside I can look all around, but then again Black Ops 4 is based on specialists, so what's stopping Ruin from grappling up there and grab slamming me into oblivion? Also, like I just mentioned, even on Jungle on top of the peak, Tony Flame made the comment again about recoil and follow-up shots. For one, this style of sniping isn't as common anymore and wouldn't be effective at all considering how the game is played.
Schwacked.
Black Ops 4 has so little vantage points, they're basically non-existent. Taking a look back at older games like Call of Duty 4, a majority of the maps had vantage points with long lanes of sight to snipe. Black Ops 4 again hardly has that at all. Treyarch has almost always been that Call of Duty developer that has been the harshest against sniping. World at War compared to Call of Duty 4 was clunky, yet rewarding and satisfying as hell. Pre-patch Black Ops 1 sniping compared to Modern Warfare 2 was... holy shit. Black Ops 1 pre-patch was pure insanity. No sleight of hand pro to quickscope. The ADS bonus with sleight of hand pro was deliberately taken off snipers because they didn't want a second Modern Warfare 2 happening. Also, the initial scope and sway was so rough that it took a good second or two for it to somewhat balance out so then you could finally steady your breath and take a shot. Nowadays, Black Ops 1 post-patch sniping is very bearable, but still Black Ops 1 at itself is still the hardest and by far the most rewarding to do well on in my opinion. And again, quite honestly, I would prefer a Black Ops 1 post-patch type of sniping to be implemented into Black Ops 4 PC. Looking back again at previous installments to the Black Ops series, Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3 were incredible to snipe on, and by that, I mean stupidly easy. And now Black Ops 3 to me was a very hard game due to the futuristic movement. I never really got into it. However, the sniping in that game was still very good. If you were able to find a shot on Black Ops 3 using the Locust or the SVG and you can maneuver flawlessly through the map, you were pretty much unstoppable. So on that same note, I could totally see why they would want to tone back the sniping with Black Ops 4, but they did and didn't do it at the same time.
Confirmed. Enemy. Shot up.
One comment in particular that I remember getting on a recent video about this whole Black Ops 4 sniping thing is the BO3 PO6 ELO sight, and why it's a good reason we need PC-specific weapon balancing. Now, while I will agree that using this was super easy, I wouldn't exactly say that this is a good example as to why we need specific PC weapon balancing. It performed just about the exact same way as console from what I know, and the sniper itself is like a charged up COD 4 M16. I'm sure almost everyone watching this video has played Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare Remastered, and we've used an M16 with a red dot sight. We all know that it really just takes one burst from almost any range and you can get a kill.
UAV recon standing by. We've lost the lead.
Seemingly a majority of the time you don't even need to land all 3 shots with a PO6 to get the kill, to which I'll input that maybe the sniper shouldn't be having ELO sights. Even so still, if they are to keep ELO sights on sniper rifles in the game, they could balance it by adding in a specific sniper rifle initial scope and sway.
Fire. KIA.
In my tweet showing the speed comparison of the Mastercraft Paladins, Nero Cinema had responded to me, which was surprising because I didn't even know he follows me. Side note, I personally love his videos, but he told me more about PC-specific weapon balancing because keyboard and mouse is more precise, and he told me to go through more recent patch notes. So that's exactly what I did. I looked through Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare, and World War II. Although I will admit I did not include Modern Warfare Remastered because the weapon balancing is basically a carbon copy and paste from Call of Duty 4 and not much change with the base snipers, other than collaterals not working properly for the first 3 months, and also a M40 ammo glitch that was never fixed, but that's besides the point. So what I've gone ahead and done is I've now linked all the patch notes listed to all of those games in the description below if you guys want to go ahead and check it out. After taking about an hour or so reading through all of the patch notes on all of these games, I couldn't find any true game-changing weapon balancing other than your typical fixed bug with this weapon, reduced recoil on this weapon, increased headshot damage with this weapon, decreased hipfire accuracy with this, blah blah blah, so on. The main sniper fixes that I could find came from Infinite Warfare of all games, where at one point in time there was a problem with the Trek 50 to where there was an issues with collaterals, and also on the Proteus, which if you all remember was the sniper shotgun hybrid. They ended up fixing a bug on the Proteus to where in hardcore it had the range and spread of an underbarrel shotgun from Modern Warfare 2, which basically you really didn't need to aim, you just needed to fire in the general area of your enemy and you would kill them. Again, really other than that though, other than your typical weapon bugs and recoil changes, there were no extreme changes in performance to the snipers from console to PC. All of the weapons across all of the platforms have basically performed the exact same way all the way up until this point. The exact same tunings and adjustments of all the weapons went to all platforms and updates. Feel free to go ahead and look through the patch notes if you wish. If I missed something, please go ahead and let me know that as well. Personally though, here's how I would like the snipers to be adjusted. For one, make the bolt speed the exact same as console. Current damage across all of the sniper rifles is fine otherwise. Also again, like I've mentioned, I feel as if the sniping on Black Ops 4 PC should be more like a Black Ops 1 post-patch type style. Take out quick draw attachments, add in a little more initial scope and sway, just something to make it a little bit more challenging. Another idea to fix the sniping in Black Ops 4 comes from the gaming definition, which if you guys don't know who he is a Call of Duty YouTuber, Red Gunner, and is a semi-professional Modern Warfare 3 PC player. And now the both of us have two very different, very polarizing play styles and have different points of view on the sniping. James is a very great friend of mine nonetheless, and he had this idea that I agree very much with. Why not go ahead and add in a speed 1 and speed 2 attachment? Speed 1 would increase the speed of the bolt by 50%, taking it from 0.2 of a second to 0.1 of a second. And the speed 2 attachment should be made the exact same as console speed, so that way it takes up more slots in create a class and it makes snipers choose attachments and their overall loadout more carefully. Since Black Ops 4 PC is already being treated like a different game, why not try implementing that? Also, one other fun fact that I wanted to mention, the sniping in PC zombies is the exact same as console multiplayer. Doesn't make sense to me why it would be like that, but alright. In conclusion, it's no secret that you have one set of players that don't like sniping and the other half that does. Sniping in Call of Duty has never been proper, like having to account for bullet drop, wind speed, etc. The only real difference nowadays is aside in the earlier Call of Duties where you have these advantage points and whatnot. Sniping became huge in 2009 with the release of Modern Warfare 2. Sleight of hand with an intervention was all you really needed to impress your friends with a quickscope for the game-winning kill cam and search and destroy or TDM. Sniping and quickscoping in general will always be a factor in Call of Duty up until they stop putting snipers in the game. Again though, with that, nerfing the snipers seemingly because one may be too good with keyboard and mouse is simply unjust. Talking directly to you, Rob, Rxqe PC, and Tony Flame, please tell us whether the snipers will be fixed at any point in time. All it takes is a few seconds of your time. A simple yes or no answer is all we need. It really is as simple as saying either yes, we have plans to adjust the snipers in the future, or no, we have no plans on adjusting the snipers at this time. It's really that simple. That's all we need. So now what do you all think? Feel free to go ahead and leave your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below and share this video so it gets to Rxqe. Thank you all very much for watching this video. It's been Soul Rage and I will talk to you all later. Take care everybody.